go from Yankee Stadium. Ben Souls is going to kick off for Pitt. They won the toss. They deferred to the second half. Toe meets leather, and we are underway in the Bronx. Touchback on the opening kickoff. And the big mystery here as to who's going to come out under center or in shotgun for Syracuse, and it's going to be Garrett Schrader.
Yep, there he is. He's one of two active FBS quarterbacks with 6,000 yards in the air and 2,000 on the ground. He is a true dual threat guy and not the most elusive runner. He'll run you over, and we'll see if he's going to be effective on the ground and through the air in this one.
Here he goes. First carry of the game on the first play into Pitt territory and all the way down to the 41-yard line. That's pretty effective.
All right, well, there you go. How healthy are you, number 6? Well, let me just do this. Let me start it off with a nice run and just way too much space that this Pitt defense gave, and a missed tackle in the secondary. What a play.
But now
well, you saw LeQuint Allen take a snap. Don't be surprised if Dan Villari, their tight end, who was a former quarterback, gets in that wildcat spot as well.
And around Allen, following his blockers down to the 27-yard line. Let's take a look at today's player spotlight, brought to you by Carvana. And it's that man right there, number 1. From Millville, New Jersey. That's South Jersey, so that's kind of near Philadelphia, Delaware area. But you can see, hey, we talk about the records that were set in last year's Pinstripe Bowl. 11 catches out of the backfield for Allen. So he just shows you how diverse of a tailback he is. On the pitch, Schrader's going to throw a block in front of him and gets a good one. Allen brought down at the 26-yard line. Devonshire came up from his cornerback spot to make the hit.
Yeah, and how about that block Garrett Schrader threw, right? Look, watch number 6 lead through this hole. He's not trying to avoid anyone. Boom! There we go.
Second down and 4. Give to Allen. Powers his way forward for the first down. Well, this is certainly a statement opening drive for Syracuse, isn't it, Mark? You're going to run it right down your throat.
Yep, and what did we say? I mean, you gotta know your customer, and you gotta assume Pitt's ready for it. I mean, they're deep. Their safeties are within 10 yards. They just can't stop them.
This time, Dayon Hayes comes up to make the stop on Allen in the backfield. And he went to the well one time too often on that end around. Allen will oftentimes be split out wide as he was on that play.
And now what a good time for the play action rollout. Let's get Schrader on the play action, moving outside the pocket. Something to keep Pittsburgh guessing.
Quick pitch. That's Daniels. About 4 or 5 yards on first down. On second down, I should say. Bring it up third down. Let's see where they mark it. It's going to be about 3rd and 5. Ike Daniels, true freshman out of Stafford, Virginia. In motion. Fake to him, but flies. Flag flies.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
First time we hear from Jeff Heiser, our referee today in this ACC crew. OC Jason Beck working that sideline, getting a good view of this play. Straight up the middle, big hit. That's Dan Villari. You called it, Mark. Former quarterback, was recruited to play quarterback at Michigan, now a tight end. We're going to see him a lot in the Wildcat.
I had a little bit of thought that they might use this, and yeah, you know, it's just a lead draw with the quarterback. Spread out the wide receivers. Got a light box, and Villari took direct snap. He's in that position again. He can throw the ball, too. He was a quarterback at Michigan before he transferred to Syracuse.
He's going to keep it. Lowers his shoulder, powers his way for maybe a yard. Shane Simon coming up from that middle linebacker spot to make the tackle. Somebody lost the helmet in the scrum.
Chris, it's so important for Syracuse to come away with 7 points here on this drive. They have really struggled lately to put points on the board. I mean, you think about their last 4 games, only 30 combined points in 4 games. And so if they can get in the end zone here, it'll bring life to this sideline and this entire Orange team.
Schrader's going to bootleg into the end zone. Touchdown. The Berlin Bear, Max Mang. Almost always a blocking tight end. Mang getting involved in the passing game. Just his 2nd catch of the year and 1st touchdown.
Really hard play action. And a good job. You see Mang on the left side of your screen, just wide open.
Max Mang with one of the great names in college football, like a Bond villain. With the touchdown for Syracuse to put the Orange on the board first. Brady Denneberg with the PAT. And Syracuse takes the opening kickoff. And in dominant fashion, they just march right down the field. Schrader to Mang. Orange on top.
When do we go from learners to leaders? Who draws the line between theory and practice and decides when our dreams go live? We do. Potential is over.
Here at Yankee Stadium, Berlin Bear, Max Mang from Leibniz Jim Potsdam. Hope I got that right.
Pretty good.
First touchdown of the year.
Not that I would know.
On that opening drive. Let's take a look at our Auto Owners Insurance drive recap on Syracuse's touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, you know, an 80-yard drive. You start off with the big run from your quarterback. Okay, am I healthy? Well, how's this look for healthy? And he does a great job. And then they started mixing it up, right? It was LeQuint Allen taking a snap. It was Dan Villari taking a snap. Garrett Schrader 2 for 2. One of those was a little pop pass to a wide receiver, and then he hits the tight end, the Bear, in the end zone. I mean, you can't script it any better than that if you're Syracuse.
There's Christian Veyer outside. That's a good gain on 1st down, finding Conate Mumpfield. What do you make of Christian Veyer, the transfer out of Penn State?
You know, I've watched him play, you know, a bunch of games this year, and one thing that's consistent is that he can make throws. Like, he can make every throw on the field. Now, is he going to have enough time? Are the wide receivers going to have enough time to get downfield? That's going to be the big question in this one, is how the offensive line can protect him.
Rodney Hammond picks up enough to move the sticks. Justin Barron making the tackle. We'll hear Justin Barron's name a lot for Syracuse today, number 8 in blue.
And Rodney Hammond, last year in the game against Syracuse, he had a career day with 124 yards on the ground and a touchdown. He was filling in for the hurt Israel Bandakanda, and then Rodney Hammond showed, hey, look, I can do some good stuff too. He's going to have another big game today.
Veyer to throw, has time, he's going to go deep. Just out of the outstretched hands of Kenny Johnson. Elijah Clark, good coverage on the speedster Johnson.
Yep, they call Elijah Clark Cinco for obvious reasons, and great coverage, right? You know, you're going against a big wide receiver on the outside. I mean, when we look at this wide receiver group for Pitt, I mean, these are some tall wide receivers. They go, you know, over 6 foot across the board, as do Syracuse's receivers, and that was a really good play by the safety, knocking that one up. Aaron.
2nd down and 10. Syracuse showing a little bit of pressure on the edge. It's picked up initially by Hammond. Veyer rolls and can't hit Mumpfield. Leon Lowry providing a little bit of pressure on the edge.
Yeah, that's back-to-back plays where Leon Lowry has got in close to Christian Veyer. And these linebackers for Syracuse, they will come all over the place. I mean, it is a 3-3-5 defense, a Rocky Long defense, and these guys, These linebackers especially, they'll pressure the quarterback, and this is the optimal time on 3rd and long.
Saw that graphic. Pitt has not had a lot of success on 3rd down. Syracuse brings just 4. They connect on the pitch and catch. It's going to be shy of the 1st down. Hammond out of the backfield making the catch, but he's not even going to be close. It's going to be 4th and 5, and Pitt's going to be forced to punt it away.
And we're going to have to watch the footing. Anytime you play on, a baseball diamond, you got to be aware of the footing, especially in the grass that has been transplanted in. That looked right on the edge of that, kind of that dark and light grass.
Caleb Junko with the punt. Curving away from Donovan Brown, and it's just going to finally roll out of bounds at about the 13-yard line. Syracuse, their 2nd game ever played. NFL championship, 1958. Baltimore Colts defeated the New York Giants on the field at the old Yankee Stadium. You think the footing is bad here today? Look at that. Like a sandbox. Of course, Amici scored in what is widely regarded as not just the greatest football game ever played, but the most important, as it really, shine a light on the NFL and took the NFL from where it was then onto the road to where it is now. The juggernaut.
How about the Giants, right? Tommy DeVito.
Yes.
Former Syracuse quarterback is going to have his shot.
Undrafted free agent, going to make his first career start against the Cowboys on Sunday. LeQuint Allen continues to find success running the football. Finally chased out of bounds by Donovan McMillan, but not before he picks up another 1st down.
Flash those pearly whites at the camera. They're going to do this, right? They're making no bones about it. Hey, we're running the football, right? We're going to get the ball in the hands of our running backs and then try to mess with your eyes and throw it over your head or around you.
Schrader's going to keep it this time, just dancing.
That was a nasty stiff arm.
Bounces outside. He picks up 11 or 12 yards.
He got Brandon George good on that one. Watch this stiff arm of number 30. Bam! Get away from me. Gets that arm out there again.
There's another one to McMillan.
He's a strong dude, right? He just big guy, 6'4", 230.
Man, they're moving Schrader around. They had him split wide at the top of the formation that time, Mark. And as we saw in the first drive, 6 and blue is going to be moving all over the place. They'll use Villari at that quarterback spot. We'll call it the quarterback spot today. On that play, they had Allen there.
Yep, and don't be surprised if you see Garrett Schrader come in motion, take a direct handoff, and then throw the football, right? That's legal. You can do that, and with that type of arm, you never know.
Juwan Price in the game now, so you have 2 tailbacks with Schrader split to the top. They fake it to him on the end around, and LeQuint Allen got hammered in the hole. Brandon George may have been a little bit cheesed off at the stiff arm a couple of plays earlier and took out his frustration on LeQuint Allen in the hole.
Well, that's the best place to take out your frustration as a linebacker.
Completely legal and encouraged. Here you see Juwan Price.
And, we have not seen this all year from Syracuse, right? So, think about the practice this past week. It's been a lot of this, you got to assume. That was a nasty hit.
And LeQuint Allen was able to fall forward after taking the hit from McMillan. Close to the 1st down. Doesn't look like he's got it yet. Sherry, what do you got?
Well, guys, you talk about practice and how they look better this week. Coach Gino Babers told us he called Allen up and he spoke to the team. He called them out saying we can't just go through the motions. Coach Babers said if everyone practiced as hard as Allen did, his life would be much easier. But he is leading by example, and he said, well, after practice, the next day was better. Guess we'll know how we play in a game, and we're seeing that translate now.
Syracuse lining up like they're going to go for it here. 4th down and less than a yard from their own 44.
You saw LeQuint Allen walking off the field in obvious pain after he took a shot to the helmet.
Coach Dino Babers and his staff want to talk things over. 4th and 1 from their own side of the field when we come back.
This is the beginning of a new era.
What occurred here, Mark?
Yeah, watch number 30 right here, Brandon George. This is him. Watch Watch his hand right at the end. Look at him. He's doing an eye gouge. That's not cool.
Dirty deeds.
That's a dirty move.
That happens all the time, though, Mark, right?
Yeah, but not as often as you think. Oh, they drew him offside.
No flag, though.
They didn't snap it. Ooh.
They are going to go for it. And Schrader's going to get it easily over the top.
Yeah.
You hear stories about what happens at the bottom of the pile all the time, and you've been in the bottom of plenty of piles.
Yeah, but like certain things, right? Like, okay, you give him a jab or something, but look, and he's got a shield on now.
And he's saying something about it.
Oh yeah, he is. I mean, that's not something you do, right? You got stiff-armed earlier in the game, right? You got put on your back, right? Your pride's hurt. You don't gouge someone's eyes out. That's a soft move in my book.
The drive continues for the Orange, and LeQuint is back in at the Wildcat. Schrader's in the slot. Now he's in motion. The pop pass to Schrader. He fumbles the football, and Pitt falls on it. David Green was able to recover the fumble, and Mark, I guess that's what happens when you're trying something new at this point in time in the season that you haven't done very often.
Yeah, well, this is one. They tried to do the little flip to Schrader. We said, hey, they might give it to Schrader. And, yeah, he got his eyes downfield on the defender too soon. And honestly, that one, LeQuint Allen should have probably kept it.
Deion Hayes, the senior from Pittsburgh, forcing the fumble. David Green also from Pittsburgh on the recovery. And now the Panthers are in business from the Orange 37. Veyer the handoff to Hannah. Stretching it to the right side, is able to get through the hole and picks up a good 7-8 yards on first down.
Good feet by Hammond. Good job of just maneuvering his way and picking up a good chunk on first down. I would love to see Pitt take a shot at the end zone here. Second down, 1. You got your big people in the game. Hard play action. Throw it to your wide receiver.
What means at the top. Instead, they're going to keep it on the ground and pick up the first down with Hammond.
Yeah, Chris, you know how I feel about 2nd and 1s, right? Especially when you're in opponent's territory. That's the time to take your shot because, hey, on 3rd and 1, you can probably get it too. And this is a team that they are no strangers to each other. They played each other a lot. And you can see some of that rivalry going on right now with the chippiness.
Fresh set of downs for Veyer and the Panthers. Syracuse showing a little pressure on the edge. Now they back out. Mumfield in motion. They're going to keep it on the ground. Hammond met in the backfield. Marlowe whacks.
Yeah, Marlowe Wax is good. Like, this dude is definitely playing on Sundays. Watch him right here. Does a great job of reading it and getting downhill now, right? Get downhill, fill the gap, and dips that shoulder low. I mean, he's loading that gun because he's got more shots to take. He is a phenomenal player for Syracuse.
Loss of 2 on the play, 2nd and 12. Veyer to throw. Has a receiver out in the flat. That's Day Reynolds, who transferred in from Florida. His first catch of the day, talking to Coach Narduzzi about Day. Said he's pleasantly surprised him. Wasn't sure what he was going to get when he came onto campus, but he's an outstanding route runner, underneath guy, great hands. 3rd down and 4 for the Panthers. Look out to Johnson, and Jason Simmons is able to come up and make the stop. Outstanding play by Simmons, the transfer in from New Mexico State. And they'll bring up 4th down.
Really good job tracking his receiver, and yeah, really that's the type of play that It's pretty telegraphed, right? Everybody's over there. All eyes are already towards the wide receiver side. You bring another one over there, and good job making the tackle.
35-yard attempt from Ben Smalls. Puts his left foot into it and splits the upright. Pitt turns turnover into points. Put 3 on the board. And it's 7-3, Syracuse on top. Coming up tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern, Duke and North Carolina from Keaton. Hill's 24th ranked team in the country. When those two rivals get together, it's always going to be a barn burner. Expect nothing less tonight. Not only on the ACC network, but also streaming on the ESPN app. A little bit of juice for the Pitt Panthers after that turnover. Don't you think, Mark? They were getting run on pretty well by the Orange and turning that into points now.
Yeah, and God, anytime you have the change-ups and the wildcat and all, like, sometimes you just got to run downhill, right? Snap your quarterback and hand it off to the running back, and it just was getting too cute too many times in a row, and Pitt took advantage.
Sauls lets it fly, low kick. And it's going to hop into the end zone. Darrell Gill lets it bounce through, and it'll be a touchback. Schrader leading this Orange offense back onto the field after putting the ball on the carpet on their last possession. One thing that I think you have to realize too is it's not like they're practicing on the field all day, all week long leading up to the game, right, Mark? I mean, they only have a certain number of hours to put in to install anything new preparing for 1 week's game.
Because you also got to go to history class and calculus, and you got to do all that other stuff, and there's only so much you can put in variations, and they have these types of things in their offense already, right, with Garrett Schrader at the quarterback. And so it's really just having everybody learn, okay, this is now my role in this play call. And they had been pretty successful at it so far up until that point. Now Dan Villari at quarterback.
Schrader's way down in the bottom of your screen by the sideline. Villari, with the defense spread out, is going to be able to churn those legs and pick up a first down. What a run by Dan Villari.
Wildcat stuff with Villari, number 89, and it's kind of what we're doing on the run here. First series we gave up a touchdown and we stopped them on the second. We just got to, figure out what they're doing here and figure out what the game plan is.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
That snap and ran for another first down to start this second quarter.
Yes, he did, and now figure this one out.
Look at this. You got 3 linemen split wide at the bottom of your screen. Villari takes the snap, gets it to LeQuint Allen. He's got nowhere to go. All that for a 2-yard gain.
I mean, you think Dino Babers and Jason Beck weren't sitting there in the back of the offices like little lab rats putting all these plays in this past week?
A little more conventional here. Allen right at the middle.
Oh, maybe that's why they're doing all the other stuff.
Deion Hayes in on the stop, along with Jimmy Scott for a loss. 3rd down and long coming up. Now Schrader again, split to the bottom.
Yeah.
Villari, quarterback. Watch double pass here. Allen can throw it, and he does, but well over the head of Damian Alford. He's only 6'6". He'd have to be 9'6" in order to catch that one.
Wait a second. Watch what Garrett Schrader does in this play. What? How about that for a distraction? I mean, if you got it, you might as well flaunt it. Like that. Who does that? Was amazing.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here? You got Schrader doing a backflip, playing a football game in a baseball stadium. Anything can happen today here at Yankee Stadium. Stonehouse Moss, one of the top punters in the country, lets it fly. And this time, Devonshire's going to try and return it. He's got nowhere to go, and he just takes a knee at this 15-yard line.
Wow, we're going to see a lot of things that we just haven't seen in this game. Man, that was cool.
What are you seeing down there, Sherry?
It's funny, guys. I was talking to Coach Babers before, trying to pepper him about who his starting quarterback was going to be. And again, just a huge smile on his face and just said, oh, you guys are going to have fun calling this one today. We are getting really creative. Now we can get a little taste of what that is.
Look at the taste, and we're only a quarter plus into it.
Man.
Vayer's turn here from his own 16. Get it in the hands of the speedster. That's Kenny Johnson. Came into this game with just 9 catches, Mark, but they talk a lot about his versatility. They use him in the return game. I'm sure they'd like to get him involved running the football, too.
Yeah, but can he do backflips? That's all I care about right now. Could you imagine doing a backflip? Like what that would look like if me or you just decided to try a backflip?
Straight on my back.
Straight on my back. Maybe head. Like the back of my head would break off. All right, let's get back to football.
Trader's showing the full repertoire this afternoon. I could see Sherry doing a backflip. I could actually see that happen.
Can we see that happen?
Narduzzi might do backflips if his team could get a touchdown drive here because we've yet to see it. Remember, they're only points, a field goal after Syracuse turned the ball over on their own half of the field. So Pitt is yet to be able to sustain a drive. And they're going to have to convert a third down here if they want this one to continue. Coach Narduzzi and his Panthers 0 for 2 so far today on third down. This one's 3rd and 2. Big back Daniel Carter, number 4, is in the game, but they're going to split him out to the bottom. Now we're going to get a timeout, Pitt. And I guess Coach Narduzzi and Frank Signetti, the offensive coordinator, didn't like what they saw. And I'm sure Pop Warner would be smiling at the innovation from the Syracuse offense today, trying just about anything and everything in the book to make it work. Carter on the shovel pass, and he's going to come up short. Kevon Darden, agent 0 for Syracuse on the stop. And they'll bring up 4th down.
Man, what a play.
And Terry Lockett involved on the tackle, too. And Pitt's going to be forced to punt.
Von Darton, he, Chris, you know this. Anyone who's heard me call a Syracuse game before knows how much I love Kevon Darton and his effort. Just made a fantastic play.
Junko, that's a driving kick. Brown calls the fair catch at the 27. Syracuse will take over. When you look at Syracuse, and we've seen it a bunch here in recent years, Mark, they got off to a great start this year. Unbeaten in out-of-conference play, and we did their game against Army back in September. Started 4-0. Beating the dog out of a lot of teams, but then they got into ACC play, and it was a different story.
Yeah, you know, it was. And they've really struggled to score points in that stretch. You know, the highest point total in any of those games is 14 points. And, you know, today they're halfway there already.
Schrader keeps it, dances his way, and picks up a couple. And this year has been sort of a carbon copy of previous years, going back to that 10-win season that Dino and his staff enjoyed back in 2018. And you can see, you know, that 2020 year, the COVID year notwithstanding, they got off to great starts, not so great finishes. Trying to become bowl eligible this year, though, a couple of wins away from it. So this game this week would be huge. Schrader on the reception that time. That's his 2nd catch of the game.
Well, there you go. Dan Villari throwing a pass. And, you know, I guess, you know, when you heard Pat Narduzzi talk about, hey, yeah, man, it's not what we expected at all. I mean, you know, like, there are no healthy quarterbacks. So when you look down the roster at who else has played quarterback before, Dan Villari, he's the guy you got to be ready for.
He's going to run it right up the middle. Loses the football. And it looked like he got it back. Maybe Price was the one who fell on it. Jawan Price. Philip O'Brien, P.J. O'Brien was the one who Forced it.
That ball's low. That ball is just way too low, running in between the tackles. Got to tuck that up under your chin.
Before the fumble, Syracuse is going to move the sticks. That was going to be a first down. Fumbled it back. He was able to recover, but it's 4th down now, and they're going to go for it.
Got to imagine it could be QB sneak with Schrader.
Now we get a flag.
False start. Offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
That's when trying to draw the other side offside.
Yeah,
blows up in your face.
Yeah, these two teams are the two most penalized teams in the ACC this year, and that kills you. I mean, that just, you got a big quarterback, you lean forward, you're going to get your yard, continue your drive, and then you have a penalty, and you're just going to you're forced to punt. And that's part of the reason why they haven't been able to score points. They haven't had any plays. Last game they only had 47 plays. The game before, 43. Just not a lot of opportunities.
Devonshire, good return here. Still on his feet into orange territory. Steps out of bounds near midfield. Let's see where they mark him out. Wherever it is, it's an outstanding return in great field position for Pitt. 43-yard line. And Devonshire, who is a master not only at returning punts, but also picks. Mark, he has 4 touchdowns in his career, 3 on pick sixes and 1 in the return game, and he almost took this one to the house. Right there.
Yeah, and Justin Barron had a shot at him earlier and didn't wrap up. But Devonshire is a threat. Anytime he touches the football, whether it's on defense or in the return game, he's a threat to bring it to the house. And talking to Pat Narduzzi, with the way that the offense has struggled, he understands they're, scores that are not just offensive scores are extremely important.
They marked him out at the 46. Fair going to work. Close to the yard marker to gain as he hit Day-Day Reynolds. Pickup of 9 on the play. So it'll bring up 2nd down and 1.
And with all the things that Syracuse is doing offensively, right, it's so important for Pat Narduzzi and Frank Signetti, the offensive coordinator, just to play their game, right? Don't feel pressured into doing anything tricky because the other team is. Just go out and play your game.
Give to Flemister. Up the middle, 1st down. Derek McDonald on the tackle, but Sebo, recently named captain of this team. One of a handful of permanent captains and the only one right now on offense with the injury to Matt Gonsalves, the offensive lineman.
Yeah, pretty cool story about how he was named captain. They had game captains for a while, and he just kept being game captain. And one time when he was named game captain, the team chanted, "Permanent, permanent." And Narduzzi said, "Okay, we'll make you a permanent captain."
Not much doing that time for the permanent captain is Kevin Chobity making the tackle. Sherry, you got more on Sebo?
Well, guys, I'm watching number 12 Devonshire down here. I believe he's on the Pitt sideline. He has a towel over his head. He's kind of breathing heavy. I'm trying to see what really could be bothering him. Teammates are coming over, seemingly consoling him. If I have more, I'll let you know. But he's kind of emotional here. Trainer just walked over.
Yeah, thank you for that, Sherry. We'll keep an eye on that. That is a huge deal as we talked in the open about these two corners and how you can just put them out on islands if you need to. Fair to throw. Has time, has a receiver, just can't connect with him. Kenny Johnson, the intended receiver, and Elijah Clark on coverage. Third down and long. Pitt's yet to convert a third down in this game, and it could be 4-down territory right here.
It'd be a 49-yard field goal from this spot. Like to pick up some more to make it a little bit more manageable.
Fair's got Sebo in the backfield with him. Syracuse brings just 3. That's a tight window. Big hit to dislodge the football. Mumfield grabs it from him.
And that one, honestly, is on Christian Vare. I mean, this ball, there was a safety sitting right over top, and that is a big hit and a legal hit to force the incompletion.
Ben Sauls is going to attempt a 50-yard field goal here as the Panthers make sure they get all the right personnel on the field. The wind is swirling atop the stadium
Second
here
charge,
at Yankee Stadium.
Pittsburgh.
Narduzzi wants to call a timeout to talk things over. Flags atop the goalposts are pretty much just stationary. There's really very little wind here inside the stadium bowl itself, and so Ben Sauls is going to try to put his left foot into a 50-yard field goal. He has a career-long 51 last year. Now we get flags. The Sauls tugged it. Let's check on the marker, though, as it was before the snap.
Before the snap. False start. Offense, number 58. 5-yard penalty. Still fourth down.
Well, the center, Terrence Moore.
Oh, yep.
Actually on the left tackle.
Left tackle.
Narduzzi politicking. I don't think he's going to get it.
That's on them. You can read the lips. That's on them. They're going to try this?
Let's see where they mark it down.
55-yarder, right?
Yep, and Sauls is staying out there. Well, he had plenty of leg on that last kick. He just pulled it wide, and now he's going to march off. And Caleb Junko will come in to punt it away and look to pin Syracuse deep.
They're going to take another timeout?
Well, the play clock is winding down, and they're going to take one here. Second timeout of this half for Pitt. We'll sort through this in moments, but while we've got a few minutes, let's do Hurts Looks Heroes this week.
All right, Hurts Looks Heroes. This week we're going to spotlight Pitt's David Green. Defensive tackle already has a fumble recovery on the day. He's used his NIL opportunities to launch his own foundation, which aims to raise $22,222 because he is number 2 for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Western Pennsylvania. He's been a longtime volunteer at the Shadyside Boys and Girls Club in Pittsburgh and has cited the importance of his own experience at the Duquesne Boys and Girls Club, and he's dedicated his life and his time outside of football to giving back to his community. And talking to him this week, he is just a phenomenal young man, bright future. And so this is why we're spotlighting him today on Hurts Like Heroes.
High punt. It's going to give his team an opportunity to down inside the 5, but it bounces into the end zone. Well, Junko did his job. His teammates on special teams allowed it to bounce into the end zone for the touchback. So you get a penalty when you're trying for a long field goal. You call another timeout just to punt it away again, Mark, and then it goes into the end zone. Just a disastrous set of plays for Pitt.
Just, you know, that's a tough stretch. You lose timeout. You got none left. You get turned away from any points.
I'm confused as to why you burn a timeout there anyways if you're going to punt the ball anyways. Punt it away. You want to save 5 yards?
I think they were subbing guys on and they were trying to get their field goal team off. And
take a delay a game and punt it out of the back of the end zone.
That's good. Yeah. You should coach, Chris. That's a really good thought.
Just think of all the mistakes I make. So I have one good thought. LeQuint using his blockers exceptionally well outside beyond the 30 and a first down.
Just the inside zone play with a lead back, and every time you direct snap it to a guy and get a blocker out there, it's just one more gap for the defense to fill, and good job by LeQuint finding it.
LeQuint faking the handoff to Price and then keeping it himself, and he picks up 4 yards. And again, you see 6 in blue. That's Schrader. He's still in the game. He's just out in the slot. He's at the top of your screen. Villari is in the mix.
Yeah, and only 2 passes, right? Like, he's obviously not a lower body injury suffering, so it might be that shoulder that he injured that's acting up. He just has not been throwing the ball downfield, right? And if he is throwing, it's a pass similar to that, a quick one to the outside, and that's Villari a little slow to get up.
Quick pass is an understatement on that one. Villari had about 3 milliseconds to focus on that football and try and make the catch. So it's 3rd and 6. Villari now in the Wildcat. Schrader in the slot at the bottom of your screen. Villari's going to keep it and has room to run. Flag comes down behind the play. So does a football. Once again, Syracuse is able to fall on it. Let's check the marker. It's going to go against Syracuse.
Holding offense, number 78. That penalty's declined. Results of play, 4th down.
Yeah, Joe Cruz guilty of the hold.
Yeah, and this is the fumble, right? Dan Villari, very talented, but if he's going to continue to fumble the football, he's not going to continue to carry it out of the backfield. It's just too loose with the ball in that much traffic. And in that case, right, I expect to see Garrett Schrader and LeQuint Allen more. That's 2 fumbles for Villari. And someone wants him to hold the football.
Got to give credit where credit is due, too. Cruz guilty of the hold. He also fell on the football, though, to preserve the possession for Syracuse. Good kick by Stonehouse. It's going to bounce into the end zone, though, for the touchback. And North Carolina from Tobacco Road. Then that's a good one right there. DePaul at Louisville at 4 o'clock in the women's game. It's Sunday on the ACC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app. Then don't forget Davidson at North Carolina. And then USA at Duke on Sunday night. So, wow, full day of action on the ACC Network. Pitt once again from deep in their own territory. Bayer to throw over the middle. Has a receiver, and that's going to be a big play for Bud Means. 40. Trying to get a block inside the 20. And finally run out of bounds inside the red zone. Pitt's in business.
Well, they're in hard play action, and it's just a really good job of coming back to the football. And he almost got a block. Look, he's pointing. Go get him, Malcolm Epps.
Epps was coming back to Bub. Bub was like, don't come toward me.
Yeah,
Right there.
at the end, look, go block the dude. You don't need to give me a high five while I'm running. He's like, you can see the smile there, right? But it's not a joke, right? You got to, like, those are the types of plays that keep points off the board.
67 yards on the play. Vader barking instructions to his offensive line. Sebo met in the backfield by a host of Orange led by Derek McDonald, and he's dropped. The red zone has not been a fun zone for Pitt this year.
That it has not. And especially on the road. You know, at home, they're 85% scoring touchdowns in the red zone. On the road, only 33%. This kind of constitutes a road game, but you see all those stats in there as well. Just they have not been able to score many touchdowns.
Fair to throw. Means makes the catch at the 10. He's dropped immediately in a short gain on 2nd down. It'll bring up 3rd down. They can pick up a 1st down right about the 5-yard line. Looking to convert their first 3rd down opportunity on the afternoon. There's Rocky Long, long-time defensive coordinator at many stops.
Yep.
Calling the master of the 3-3-5 defense. He's going to try and master this third down here, bring pressure on the edge. Inside, touchdown, kind of tame upfield.
Well, there you go. Really good release by Christian Vare. Great route.
A little baseball simulation in terms of the celebration.
Little stop route in the zone. And beat that 3-3-5 defense you were talking about.
Sauls with the PAT. Thayer with the pitch. After the throw for the score. Hard on the play. And if you're Syracuse, I got to think you're in no rush here, Mark.
No, you're not in a rush, but at the same time, you're not moving the ball very effectively either, right? So you don't want to get to third down quick, but you also know that if you do run the ball and try to get points off this drive, you got to actually have a little bit faster clip.
Throw to LeQuint, hurdles a defender, then he gets tripped up. He's only able to pick up a couple. It'll bring up third down, and it looks like about 9. Bengali Kamara eventually got to him.
And now you let the clock run, right? Because now you are at third down. You don't want to give Pitt any time with the ball back. But, just those two play calls show Dino Babers' confidence in their team passing the football. It's not there right now. When, could be due to Garrett Schrader's injury or what have you. But
Pitt doing a smart thing here. They tried to substitute out Schrader. He'll be forced out of bounds. Now that'll stop the clock. The Shields forced him out. So with 51 seconds remaining in this first half, Syracuse is going to have to punt the ball away. We do have a flag on the very far side.
Illegal formation. Offense. More than 4 players in the backfield. That penalty's declined. Results of the play. 4th down.
So Jack Stonehouse is going to be called upon to do what he does well, and that's a boom one.
And MJ Devonshire is back to return this one. He had that big return before, and we saw him on the sideline grimacing.
Stonehouse averaging over 46.5 yards a punt on the season. There's Devonshire. Good look at it right there. Staring down Stonehouse. Good kick. Devonshire from his 32. Looking for blocks. Gets through the first wave. And dropped at about the 45. So Thayer will have about 36 seconds to see what he can do with no timeouts on the board. You can see Pitt's drives in this game really couldn't get anything going. Look at the plays and yards before the big play to Bub Means really set them up on that last drive.
Yeah, and not a lot of extended drives, and they've been living or dying by the big play really all year. And you're going to get Bub Means down here at the bottom of your screen. He's their big play guy. Let's see if they try to push the ball downfield here.
Thayer's going to throw. Syracuse brings just 3, so he's got all kinds of time. Nice defensive play. Tried to get it to Day, and it was Jason Simmons who's made a couple of big plays today from that safety spot.
Yep, good break on the football, good timing. Good defensive play. Again, another time where Vera's trying to thread it in there. Means Mumfield towards the bottom of your screen.
Syracuse again, bring 3. So Bear has time over the middle. Hits Day-Day. Still on his feet inside the 30. And they'll mark him down to the 29. Day-Day Reynolds with the big catch. And Pitt out of timeout. It's got to line up quickly. Bear spikes it to kill the clock at 18 seconds.
Well, what a pass and catch from Bear to Day-Day Reynolds. Coming from the right-hand side of the formation, just a nice in-cut and really good job by Bear to just throw the ball to throttle down his wide receiver. Didn't lead him into a big collision on that one. That ball placement being a little bit on the back shoulder, that's purposeful by a good quarterback. We've already seen them line up for a field goal from this range. Didn't end up kicking it because of the false start, but they're comfortable from the field goal unit coming out from here.
And now the play clock winds down, but
play clock stuck it.
Yeah, the officials wouldn't let him snap the ball because of, I'm guessing, a substitution, but I didn't see one. See the official right on the football there at the 29. Now we're going to guess what's going on because we're not getting much of an explanation. Oh, they're working the game clock to 19, so it sits at 18 right now. So this will benefit Pitt by a small margin. Vader getting an explanation from Jeff Heiser, our referee. We're ready to go. Actually hit him right in the numbers, but Hammond couldn't make the catch. Third and 10, down to 15 seconds. From here, it would be a 46-yard field goal.
Yep, and you can't clock it if you don't pick up a first down because that would be clocking on 4th down. So you got to either get out of bounds or take a shot at the end zone here or have your field goal team ready to run on quick.
Could be a free play. Day-Day tried back shoulder. Didn't work, but let's get the penalty, and this is going to give him an extra 5 yards. That'll help a field goal try.
Offside. Defense, number 7. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
Stephon Thompson, the guilty party on the edge. So here you got to get this 5 yards because you're in a position where you could try a field goal here, and if you don't get the 5 yards, and keep it in bounds, you're done. You're cooked.
Yep, exactly right. And also too, if you do get the 5 yards, you got to get up and spike the ball quick to get your field goal team out. I mean, you got to get the 5 yards quick or have to make sure the ball hits the ground on a pass.
Fair to throw. Completes it to his tight end, Epps. He goes down, and he does pick up the first down. So this will temporarily stop the clock at 6 seconds.
3rd and final timeout. Pittsburgh. 30 seconds.
Well, looks like they did have another timeout.
That's a surprise.
Yep. We must have had it wrong on our graphic.
Well, that changes everything.
No wonder they were so calm about it.
It's a cagey veteran move right there by Narduzzi.
It is.
Knew we still had one, even though the scoreboard said nothing.
Right, isn't that, Now they don't have any. That's what we meant to say. Now there's no timeouts left.
For Sauls. Good hold, good snap. The kick is up, and he squeezes it through. As the clock strikes 0-0 here at Yankee Stadium. The pitch. That's Johnson, the speedster on the edge. And he's able to pick up a good 8 yards on first down. We mentioned in the first half, they want to get number 2 involved in any way they can. And the freshman out of York, PA, gives him good yardage on first down here to start the second half.
Yeah, and, creative way of, having him motion in the backfield, a little flip to him on the reverse. Good pickup.
Sebo. Check it, that's Hammond. Gets it out to about the 45 before Jaden Bellamy brought him down.
And this is kind of what I thought they were going to do more of in this game. Get big 22 personnel, 2 tight ends and a fullback, and pound the ball. That was Pitt's response last year to Syracuse. Syracuse has a little bit of an undersized defensive line, and Pitt was able to get big and really move down the field last year. That was the first time we've seen that in this game.
Saw big Blake Zubovic, 68, leading the charge. He's the lead blocker in that hole. Hammond. Up the middle. He's able to pick up 5 on first down. So good yardage for Pitt on first down to start this second half on this drive.
Yeah, it's huge. It's so important to pick up yards on first down for a plethora of reasons, but this will start opening up some stuff for Christian Veer in the passing game. If you can start hitting on some of these runs from Rodney Hammond and start getting this Syracuse defense tightened up to the line of scrimmage, Veer can throw some deep ones to Bub Means and Dejon Reynolds.
25 yards rushing on this drive. They had 25 yards rushing in the entire first half. Pitch out to Hammond. Gets just shy of 5 yards. Marlowe Wax pushes him out of bounds. It'll be 3rd and 1. Pitt 2 for 6 on 3rd down rather in the first half.
Big personnel again, 22 personnel.
Hammond got hit in the backfield. And I don't think he got there. I think they're going to mark him shy. Wax again on the tackle. Barron. I mean, anytime you need a big play defensively, it's Wax and Barron, isn't it?
No, and Marlowe Wax just really good job on this play. And hey, you're a linebacker. What are you going to do on 3rd and 1? Well, you read the play perfectly and you get downhill again, right? That's such a good job of playing linebacker, and Pitt's going to keep their offense on the field on 4th and inches.
They brought in the big back, Daniel Carter, as a fullback. Hammond dotting the I. They'll give it to Carter, and he picks up the first down.
He was close. That was a tough run by Carter. And
he's not used to having space. Like he's used to getting hit as soon as he catches.
And watch the Syracuse defensive line. Look at those guys they're submarine. That's what they call it, submarine. Let's go low and chop out those legs. And Carter
just lost his footing a little bit there when he tried to cut. It's probably what he's trying to explain to his teammates.
Yeah, you know what? You got the first down. That's the important part.
Johnson again in motion at the top of your screen. Now back to the bottom. Fakes the handoff, fumble on the ground, and Syracuse falls on it. Veer looked like he wanted to give it to Johnson. Johnson looked like he didn't want to take it. Syracuse takes it, and Bellamy with the recovery.
Very similar type fumble that Syracuse had in the first half. It's that east to west motion, and Veer's trying to hand it, and you're exactly right. Johnson doesn't know that he's going to actually take the football. It looks like he thought it was just a fake. But fair, you got to hold on to it until you feel someone take it away.
So Syracuse survives the first blow from Pitt to start this second half. LeQuint inside the 50, so inside of Pitt territory. We got an injured Pitt Panther on the field. That's Tyler Bentley. We'll check on his condition when we come back. Early going in the second half. Pitt's up 6. There's Tyler Bentley, the redshirt senior out of Westchester, Ohio. Lakota West, Cincinnati suburb, being helped off the field. Certainly hope he has a speedy recovery. Sherry, what do you got for us down the field?
Since talking to head coach Pat Narduzzi at the end of the first quarter, at the half, he told me he thought his team settled in there in the second quarter, but coming out here in the second half, he said he is still expecting creative play from Syracuse, stuff he's never seen before. But talking to Syracuse head coach Dino Baber, he told me he thought the creative offense has just been okay. The penalties have really stalled them. He wants them to still be aggressive, hang on to the ball, but as he told me multiple times, he has belief in his guys.
Yeah, thank you, Sherry. Just the one turnover for Syracuse. That fumble in the first half as LeQuint took that opening handoff, takes this one, and falls forward inside the 40. That'll move the sticks.
Yeah, and they've gained yards, and they've been able to move the chains through this, whatever you want to call it, type of offense. It's a wildcat type, no matter who's at quarterback, but it's been the penalties and then the fumbles and just the negative plays have really killed him.
Villari's going to throw it as a receiver wide open. It's LeQuint Allen, but he overshoots him.
And, they had something on it, and you watch LeQuint Allen just come up the middle of the field. They got it. Just the double clutch and overthrow.
Well, he's been a tight end for a while. No use crying over spilt milk. Got to get back to it, and he's going to put down his head and just run right through the defense. Still on his feet. Said it once in the first half. I'll say it again here. That is Mark Bavaro-esque for fans here in New York. Refusing to go down, carrying defenders for the first down, and another Pitt Panther shaken up. Look at it again.
And you watch the tackling. Guys are just falling off of him, and he's driving his legs.
Defensive end Nate Temple down for Pitt. We'll check on his status when we come back. Quarterback now tight end Dan Villari upset at himself for missing a wide open receiver downfield. You can see him coming over to the sideline at that timeout, and then Dino Babers coming over and saying, hey man, you're a workhorse for us today. Throwing the football, running the football, out there blocking. It's going to need him here in the second half. They're going to come back and get this win, and right now they're driving the football thanks to a big first down run from Dan Villari on their last play. Syracuse back in business after the injury timeout. Allen trying to test the middle of that Pittsburgh defense. Deion Hayes has him wrapped up.
Deion Hayes has been active in this game, and just a really good player at that defensive end, and trying a bunch to replace the guys they lost right deep line last year. I think Elijah Cansey, Hava Baldonado, Deslin Alexander, John Morgan, all those guys are gone, and Hayes has been one of the guys to step up in that defensive front.
Villari up the middle. He's able to get about 3 yards.
And now third down. Right? Do you have Pitt and Schrader to throw the football? I mean, is it 4 down territory? Do you settle for field goal? Right? Really, that's the idea. And with Schrader all the way down here. You wouldn't expect a drop back pass, and so they're going to try to pick it up on the ground.
Villari's going to test the middle. Bounces off a tackler and is able to get right at the yard to gain. Let's see where they mark it. I think it's going to be a little shy. It's on this side of the 20.
How about the effort, though? I mean, what an effort from Villari at the end. I mean, he's been doing it all game, but you see, right at the 20, the 19 looks like the yard to gain.
And they're going for it. Garrett Schrader. He's going to keep it, and he's going to get the first down and more. He's got it blocked on the corner. He'll score!
And that was a true quarterback pull, right? That was one. You get your quarterback, your ball handler with the ball. Really good fake. And just the pull and speed. Watch how he just rides it in there just enough. And uses his speed and power to get in the end zone. What a drive by Syracuse.
Brady Denneberg again to try the point after, and this will give the Orange the lead back. It is good. Concerns about Schrader's playing status after he missed last week with the shoulder injury. Creative offense to take a little pressure off him. He puts pressure on Pitt's defense here. Orange back on top. They had Dan Villari and LeQuint Allen also taking snaps at the quarterback. Kenny Johnson. Flag down. So is Johnson at the 22.
During return holding. Receiving team, number 27. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Pitt will back up to start this drive. Coming up next, ACC Huddle Crew. They're back with highlights and complete breakdowns of all the afternoon games, plus getting you set for Duke and North Carolina at 8 Eastern tonight. Then after the game, it is a full post-game wrap-up. Coming up on the ACC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app. Good crowd here at Yankee Stadium. The end zone clubs. Audi Club, or which club that is, but enjoying this nice night here. It's a little chilly. Sebo Flemister now in the backfield with Veyer to start this drive for Pitt. Veyer to throw. Steps up. Couldn't hit Bud Means that time. He is throwing in some tight windows, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And that was really good coverage by Marlo Wax, the middle linebacker. You know, he dropped into that zone and found himself on Bud Means and did a good job of getting his body in front of him. And just, really just every time I call a Syracuse game, so impressed with Marlo Wax. He's just a really good run stopper, but he drops back in coverage well. Excited to see where he plays on Sundays one day.
Just a junior right now. It's hard to tell how many years he's been at Syracuse because of the COVID year, but it's been a while. Oh, big hit on the outside. That's Zeke Johnson.
Again, Zeke Johnson with another punishing blow. Really good hit and impressive job by Sebo. He caught that, right?
Caught it.
Yeah.
Held on to it. Johnson is a big cornerback, 6'3", 205 pounds, transferred from Dartmouth. And Flemister's caught it. Third down and 4. Syracuse showing a little pressure. They're coming with it. Bears got to get rid of it quickly, and Bud Means couldn't quite adjust enough to make the catch. Johnson again on coverage. And Means and Johnson sharing a couple of pleasantries. sure talking about which Yankee dominating era was more impressive.
Yes, I'm sure that's what they were talking about.
Topic du jour here today inside Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, good pressure there. Just had to throw it up quickly.
Junko, a high spiraling kick. Fair catch made for the Syracuse 38. That's where the Orange will take over. This is the week we honor all of America's heroes. We send a heartfelt thank you to all of our active military and veterans for your courage and commitment to our country, including your wife, Mark.
Yes.
Danielle's.
Yep.
Veteran.
Yeah, when I think
she's at home right now handling all the kids.
Yep.
Hopefully my smile says it all. It means the world to me. Being Orange is truly something you only appreciate and you feel in your body if you ever worked here or were a student here. And that was almost 20 years ago. It's shocking to me. I wish I could go back and do it all over again. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Sean Stumpf, and I'm forever Orange.
Sean Stumpf today with the flyover, our C-130. Bronx native, Syracuse grad. There he is, enjoying the game and enjoying what he's seeing right now. The Orange with a 1-point lead as clock ticks inside of 6 minutes left to go in this third quarter. And
I feel like that's a jacket that he has to be wearing. That leather pilot's jacket, that's perfect.
Allen, after a good run by Schrader on first down, Allen matches it. Good yardage for the Orange here as this drive continues, much like the last drive, all on the ground. Big-time positive yards on first down, setting up their entire playbook and letting them do what they want to do throughout the rest of the drive.
And that's run. It's going to be a run.
Allen trying to cut it back inside. The heart of this Pitt defense was right there to make the stop. DeAndre Jules among those there waiting for him.
Yeah, and you know, it's hard, right, to make these in-game adjustments from a defensive perspective if you haven't worked this all week. Really good job by number 8 there. You see Samuel Okunloye just staying to the outside and making sure he kept that slow contained. And it's good job coaching by Randy Bates and this Pitt defensive staff to get their guys up to speed.
Villari into the second level. 30, 25, inside the 20, still carrying defenders inside the 10. Dan Villari from Massapequa out on the island. I'm sure he's got a lot of friends and family here today cheering loudly. He's having a big game.
Watch Brandon George come down and pick a side. Boom, I'm going to stay on the outside and just wrong arms it. You got to keep that outside arm free, and just gave himself up 1 for 1, and Dan Villari made him pay.
Villari now with 78 yards on the ground. It's 2 for 3 passing for 8 yards. He has just been huge in this offense with Garrett Schrader not 100%. Jason Beck in this Syracuse offense, Beck the offensive coordinator, having to get creative, and the creativity is starting to pay off here in the third quarter. They've retaken the lead and they're driving for more.
Yeah, remember, Jason Beck was with Robert and I at Virginia. They had Keaton Thompson, a tight end / quarterback. They ran very similar stuff with him. They're just incorporating Dan Villari now in the same way.
Schrader under center. Back to LeQuint Allen. Spins toward the middle of the field and is met with Devin Danielson and a whole host of Pitt Panthers. Danielson shaking up a little bit. And we've seen a lot of Pitt defenders going down with injury today. It has been an unfortunate night in that regard. And Danielson, who made the stop, he's down on the turf.
And that's 2, right? Tyler Bentley went down earlier. Devin Danielson, both defensive tackles.
We saw Nate Temple go down. He may be back in the fold looking for 6 and white, but it has been a tough night for this Pitt defense, just trying to stay healthy.
Yeah, and defensive tackle is not the position you want to lose against what Syracuse is doing on offense, right? Just run the ball right down the middle, and so Danielson's all right.
Danielson, another veteran, redshirt senior, been on this team for a long time from the Pittsburgh area. As the staff of the Panthers continues to look over Danielson. Let's take one more look at that play and see if we can spot where Danielson got hurt.
Yeah, let's see just kind of what happens. You see him right in the middle of the screen. He's in there on the tackle.
I don't see it. It's not readily apparent anyways, Mark.
Well, he did get stepped
right
on.
there on that shoulder, right on the very end.
Yep.
John Ray Reed.
Didn't look like it was on purpose.
Big offensive lineman from Syracuse. Danielson, it looks like he's making his way to the locker room for further evaluation. Panthers are thinning out on that defensive front. Second down and goal. Schrader didn't lined up as a H-back. Villari, nowhere to go with it. He's going to throw to Schrader at the goal line.
Man.
And it just goes off his hands. That's like schoolyard football right there. It's sandlot.
I mean, Dan Villari, he's fumbled the ball twice. And the way he was holding this ball, scrambling out to his right.
Almost fumbled it there on the fake handoff.
Watch here. Whoa.
Look at that.
Zoom. Oh, he had Schrader, too, and hit him right in the hands.
Schrader was probably out of bounds anyways.
Yep,
I mean,
yep. See the hat go?
Not used to running routes. What is going on out there? Now Schrader's in the gun. Shovel pass. Shy of the goal line. And it is going to be fourth down. It's Elijah Wright, the defensive tackle, of course, on the receiving end.
Yeah, of course. Why? Because that's who you usually throw to. Big defensive tackle on a shovel pass. I'll tell you what, Pittsburgh has no shot to make a bowl game. But, Syracuse does. But it really kind of feels like Syracuse is playing like they got nothing to lose. It's kind of fun to watch.
Eighth play of the drive. Syracuse is 2 for 2 on fourth down, looking to make 3 for 3. LeQuint, can he get to the goal line? No, they're going to mark him short.
That play looked kind of like it was supposed to be a pass from LeQuint Allen. I mean, see, watch how he holds the ball. Like right there, that looks like he's going to throw it, and then no one's open.
He would have had to have thrown it all the way across the field. So I think this was the better decision here.
I agree. And, because he's holding the ball in that outside arm, not able to get it across the line, and just a really good job by the Pitt defense.
Donovan McMillan and Solomon DeShields met him at the goal line.
Yeah, and they did it together, right? To making sure he wasn't going to get any leaky yards.
Big play by that Pitt defense, who we mentioned. They've had a lot of injuries tonight. And the guys who are in there step up. Now the Panthers just trying to get a little bit of breathing room. As Derek McDonald is there to bring down Daniel Carter after a gain of maybe a yard and a half.
This is quite the exciting game, Chris. Especially when one team does not throw the ball at all. It's pretty exciting for that.
For a 14-13 game here where one team in Pitt, Coach Narduzzi even told us 2024 starts today. They're playing for next year, and Syracuse, a team that's got to find a couple of more wins on their schedule to go bowling. Fair to throw. That's intercepted. Picked off by Bellamy. And he'll score.
Just a poorly thrown football by Christian Vare. Underthrew his receiver. And Bellamy with a good job of getting his eyes on the football. See down, there he is right there. Just has his eyes on the quarterback the whole way, and I don't know whether it's miscommunication or what, but that ball had no chance of going to a Pitt player.
First INT of the year for the Notre Dame transfer.
And this is a Syracuse team that last week against Boston College dropped about 4 interception opportunities. This one, he caught it and brought it back to the house.
And we've got a Pitt player injured in the corner. That looks like the tight end, Gavin Bartholomew, who is trying to make the tackle as Bellamy crossed the goal line. Might be cramping. He's trying to get some fluids. Looks right now. I don't want to speculate on it, though. Bartholomew not really involved tonight as much as you might expect him to be. Heck of a pass-catching tight end.
That's an Arduzzi all the way out there, sitting with his tight end. Welcome back now.
This has been a tough night for Pitt in many respects on the injury front. Hadn't been targeted yet on the night. With Pitt needing to come back in this one, they would need him in there.
Yep.
Minute 41 left to go in this third quarter. Bellamy celebrating with his teammates, and Vare getting some advice on the Pitt sideline. Looks like, I thought initially that Syracuse might go for 2. And they still might. They do have Denneberg out there. He was a high school quarterback.
Yes, I know. You've been wanting him to run a fake.
I'm just saying.
Ever since you saw that.
The way tonight is going,
that's
it could
true.
be in the cards. But I don't think they'll do it here on the PAT. They don't. The lead is 8.
Yeah.
1:41 left to go in the third.
And Jaden Bellamy, right? They missed him last week. He was out last week. And you got hurt in that Virginia Tech game. And you just see the Notre Dame transfer. He's only a redshirt freshman. He's a guy that can make some plays for this Syracuse defense. And I mean, that's as big a play as it gets in this game.
Game of big momentum swings here too. Coach Narduzzi, now he's got to find that after the big turnover and Syracuse extending their advantage. Still though, throughout the entire game, everybody's been one play away from gaining that momentum back. That huge play to Bub Means in the first half completely flipped it in Pitt's favor.
Absolutely right. And they have big play wide receivers. I mean, that's the strength of this Pitt team. It's Bub Means, Kenny Johnson, Dejon Reynolds, Kanate Mumfield. Just haven't had a lot going so far today.
Ball's blown off the tee. Feeling that. Denneberg will set it back up. I mentioned those big play receivers. Johnson, big play waiting to happen in the return game too. Will he get a shot here? He won't. He'll sail over his head for the touchback. Take a look around the ACC. Florida State, they're going to the ACC championship game, back at it. Louisville, it's had a tough one against Virginia. And this is what we're seeing a little bit here. And the bottom one right there, I know that would hurt you personally, Mark, but teams that have had a lot of success, there's always that trap. There's always that game that'll bite you. Georgia Tech is another one. My alma mater. They went into Death Valley today, close early against Clemson. They got hammered in the end.
Yep.
there's like a comeuppance there when you start to feel too good about yourself, maybe, and you get on a big winning streak. There's always a team in this league to knock you back down, and that's what we've seen today. In Miami and Florida State right now, the last I checked, that was a pretty close game. Maybe 10-7?
Yeah, and it's big when you can go into those games, right, and you get close to getting trapped, but you don't. I mean, that's how you go to the championship game. That's how you go to the college football playoffs, is when you have those scares, and every team does, right?
Yeah, Florida State right now is 13-13 with Miami.
Exactly, right? And how about Florida State last week? Last week against Pitt, it was 7-7 at halftime. But they got through the scares, and that's why they're ranked the way they are.
Let's see how Pitt responds here after the pick six. Good pick up on first down, but Lowry dropping Ham in there, and it's going to bring up third down. About 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4, and the last time your quarterback dropped back to throw the ball, it was a pick six. So, you want to have him have confidence in his throw, but it's also, I mean, you're in a point where you need this. You need this first down.
Let's see what Syracuse does in terms of pressure. They're showing it, and they're bringing it. Veyer throws, complete. First down. Nice play. Veyer found Munkfield over the middle.
Yeah, good read. They brought pressure. Syracuse brings pressure and just replaced the pressure with the football. Good completion.
Veyer continues the drive. We start the fourth quarter. His Pitt Panthers trailing by 8.
Playing a fantastic game. Now we got to finish it for him so it can be a story.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Sherry.
All right, Dan Villari from Long Island, as we mentioned. Ball on the ground. Syracuse has got another turnover. Terry Lockett fell on it. And it's cliche in football, Mark, to talk about winning the turnover battle, and we talked about it in the open, but it's proven right here today so far. Syracuse is winning it, and they're winning on the scoreboard.
They are, and what a swing in momentum. The pick six, and then the fumble again. It's just that, I mean, that's twice. Well, Villari has thought that the ball was being delivered to a runner, and it just wasn't. And I mean, that many turnovers and fumbles, interceptions, it's almost impossible to win that way.
Flag down pre-snap.
Delay a game, defense, disconcerting signals. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Wow. It's going from bad to worse for that guy right there. Free 5 yards to start this drive for Syracuse.
Surprising not to see an argument. Here
it comes. I don't think it was coming.
I don't think he heard.
At least an explanation.
He goes, wait, what?
He was so dumbfounded by the call. It took him a while for it to register.
Yeah. It's not funny.
Allen, same play that was called before the whistle. Give him about 3. It'll bring up second down and 2.
Yep. Here he goes. He goes, oh, wait.
Oh, that's realizing he thought that was a pre-snap false start against the offense. It's like, wait a minute, it's on us. Then he wanted an explanation. I'm not sure he's happy with that explanation, or at least satisfied with it. His defense has got to step up big here. Villari, wide open, inside the 10, and he'll score!
Dan Villari again! Man! Yeah, after those 2 fumbles, you're not sure you're going to give it back to him, but for the Massapequa, New York native, Dino Babers said, welcome home. Well, here you go.
Look at that hole.
Man, there is just nobody there. And it's almost shocking because that's where the ball's going to be every single time.
Denneberg with the try. Ball sails into the monuments. First, the turnover. Picked up by Lockett. Setting up Syracuse. And this man right here, Dan Villari. Another score. That was a pose. I've always wanted to do this. Johnson lets it bounce into the end zone. Syracuse with 278 rushing yards on the day. That's a season high. And they've turned 3 turnovers, Mark, into 21 points.
Yeah, 2 of them look pretty similar, right? That one and then the third one. And Bellamy fell on that fumble and had the huge pick 6 on the underthrown ball. And it just has been a sequence of really just poor offense, poor ball control, and not a lot of urgency on, hey, let's make sure we keep the football by Pitt. Now, find themselves down 15 points all of a sudden. They need to get points on this drive.
Veyer to throw underneath.
Not a good throw.
Just fire trying to find Day-Day.
Oh, well, there's a reason.
Yeah, that's Nate Yarnell in there.
Look, Yarnell's like, well, that was a fit. Just kidding. That's not really what I'm going to do.
Yarnell, the redshirt sophomore from Austin, Texas. Lake Travis, powerhouse in Texas high school football. Tall drink of water, too. 6'6", 215 pounds. Yarnell underneath. That's Day-Day with the completion. Pick up a 5. Marlowe whacks in tight coverage. Bringing up 3rd down. It has not been easy for Pitt to find a replacement for Kenny Pickett. And those are big shoes to fill. There's no question about it. But they thought Slovis might have been the guy last year. He transferred in and then transferred right back out. Veyer transfers in from Penn State. I think they still really like him. I mean, Frank Signetti talked glowingly about what type of quarterback Veyer can be. Just remains to be seen. Couldn't get anything on as Kevon Darton was putting the pressure on Yarnell, and it falls harmlessly incomplete.
Yeah, Kevon Darton just does a good job of working away. Only 4-man pressure. You see him right here. And just really kind of a unique escape lane for Yarnell up between the tackle and the guard. And that is just probably get coached up on that throw towards the middle of the field.
It's a good thing that was a really bad throw. Otherwise, Barron would have intercepted that one.
Yeah.
Junko to punt it away.
Oh, look, hit him.
Luckily, a teammate who just got thumped at the 25. Donovan Brown took a bad angle to it, and luckily for him, Damian Alford was there. Look at Brown. Touched him. Teammate was there to save his bacon.
Man, this coach done took over our office.
Absolutely. And now she's dealing with those 3 kids that are going crazy back home.
Yeah, that's not quite as tough as the military, but you're a parent of 3 young kids. You know it's not easy.
LeQuint goes for 1.5 yards. So far today, Dan Villari has 105 yards. LeQuint has 88 and Schrader has 83, so don't be surprised if we end up having 3 100-yard rushers today for Syracuse. We're kind of knocking on the door. Well, Schrader, the pop pass. Here's LeQuint. That's going to be a pass and a reception.
Yep. This is going to be a game where you look back at the stats and you're like, what happened? Was this football? What did they do? What did they do? And it's been all on the ground, right? 280 yards on the ground and 17 through the air. I mean, just they're not passing the football.
That's crazy. 17 through the air. How many of those are those little pop passes?
Yeah, exactly.
Push pass. He's gone down the field maybe a couple of times. Schrader has today, and Villari had one where he missed a wide open receiver, but you can forgive him for that because he's done a really good job doing this. Running the football. Great moves, too. 2 and 3 great moves to pick up the first down.
He's got a little little swag about him too now. I mean, it's really good. He's elusive. He's a big, elusive runner. Whoa. He's putting moves on guys, and Pitt is just terrible at tackling this year. So, more terrible tackling on that play. They are last by far in the ACC in terms of, or have the most missed tackles. And it's surprising because last year they were the best tackling team in the ACC. It just, they have not been able to get guys on the ground.
LeQuint lowers his shoulder, takes the hit, runs through the contact, and picks up 4.
And LeQuint Allen, there have been some bright spots in this game from some other guys, but really over the past month, there haven't been a whole lot except for LeQuint Allen. He has had a very consistent season. He's been the one player really on the team that Coach Baber said, look, he's the guy. Like he's been consistent and good throughout the whole game, throughout the whole season, that is. He's showing up tonight as well.
Allen in motion. Villari keeps it. Still pushing the pile. First down, Orange.
Well, after today's game, this is going to have to be a package that they use more frequently. I mean, when Garrett Schrader's arm gets healthy, then they can throw the ball. It's tough to get embarrassed twice on one play. I mean, it's just a stiff arm, and then that's just getting truck sticked.
Running hard with the lead in the 4th quarter. Now he's at 100 yards. So that's 2 Syracuse runners with 100 yards rushing today.
Look at this. Wide receivers already lined up.
Schrader gives it to LeQuint. Gets a couple. Let's see that run by LeQuint Allen on the previous down.
And watch how low he gets. Watch how low this shoulder pad gets to the ground. I mean, yeah, there's no excuse for missing that, but at the same time, he's a tough runner.
$103 yards for LeQuint. He and Villari have gone over 100 yards. Villari.
Oh, nice move.
And Villari's gone well over 100 yards. And another first down, just another demoralizing drive for this Pitt defense. Syracuse just ticks off one first down after another, all on the ground. I mean, you rarely see a disparity like this. 325 yards rushing and 17 passing if you're not one of the service academies or a team running the option.
No, well, I mean, that's what basically they just had to do, right? And if we don't have the ability to throw the ball effectively without the potential of turning the ball over, let's just run it and figure out ways to do it. I mean, good stop there, but so much credit to Jason Beck and to Dino Babers on pulling this off, right? It feels like something they're pulling off because going into last week, they thought Schrader was going to play, right? So you're not doing a whole new game plan. Now he can't play. So coming into this week, you have to figure out something. What are we going to do to be able to move the ball? What are we going to do to be able to score points because we have not scored points? Well, this has been the answer, and it's been a pretty fun to watch answer.
Unless you are a Pitt Panther, you are tired of seeing this guy right here running the ball straight up the middle for big yards. Simon and McIntyre combine on the tackle. 7 yards on the run. The 11th play of this drive.
Yeah, and like we're talking about the ball carriers, but you got to give credit to this offensive line. I mean, with Cruz and Bleish and Reed and Bradford and Petrie, I mean, these guys are running in a completely different offense. than they've been doing all year. They're getting their blocks. They're opening up these lanes, and they are just being more physical than Pitt on every single drive. And they do it again, open up a big hole for Villari.
Clock ticks inside of 6 minutes. Villari will head to the bench as Pitt was able to get a stop on third down. It's fourth and 3, rather. Denneberg will come in to attempt a field goal. 38-yard attempt. Stonehouse with the hold, the punter. And we'll get a whistle before the snap. Dino wants to call a timeout. 28-13, Syracuse with the advantage here in the fourth. Syracuse fans that make their home in the New York metropolitan area, tri-state area, enjoying the night they've had so far tonight. I'll enjoy it even that much more if Denneberg can bury this 28-yard field goal, 38-yard field goal. Good snap, good hold. Denneberg just misses it. Pushed it wide right. Dino trying to keep his team fired up with a 28-13 lead. Syracuse has done it on the ground all day long. Take a look at these big three right here. That is impressive.
Wow.
Up to 29 carries for LeQuint, too, plus a few receptions to go along with that. And Villari, the big story. Yarnell back at quarterback for Pitt. Over the middle, tight end. Hits his man, and they're going to go for a big gain. Epps inside of Syracuse territory. Jason Simmons on the tackle.
Well, nice throw by Yarnell. You see, it's just a post route and just a great delivery in between 4 defenders. And Epps, good job, run after catch. There he goes again.
Pressure on the edge. Epps is able to get open, and a good throw by Yarnell. Pickup of about 7 on first down. Pitt's only down 2 scores. They're moving quickly here. Hammond. Wax tracks him down. Another Pitt player injured, and that's going to be Epps. He's holding that right knee. We'll take a break. We'll update you on Malcolm Epps' condition when we come back. 28-13 Q. College going to be taking on Pitt. And we're going to get a review on the last play for a fumble.
Yeah, and the ball came out and was recovered clearly by Syracuse, but it's the forward progress seemed like it was called. Right, like it's going to be hard to review the whistle and when they blew the forward progress dead.
Yeah, Stephon Thompson was the one who pulled it out. And you could see here.
And it did seem like the whistle blew, like it before that.
Yeah. It was recovered by Darton. We'll see if we can listen for the whistle. Yeah, and it isn't even necessarily the whistle mark. If the official feels like forward progress was stopped and they're just a tick later on the whistle, they could still say that forward progress was stopped. And I believe that's going to be the call.
Yeah, but if that was the call, I don't know how they would be reviewing it. You know, like they say, oh, he's down by forward progress. That's not reviewable. So, yeah. Because he was not down by contact, but
Right. He was down by a judgment call by the official.
And so if they say he was down by forward progress, you can't go back and review whether it's a fumble or not, because you can't, it's a determination by the official.
Well, they may first on the review determine whether he was down by contact or not. And now that they've reviewed it and they realize he wasn't, now was the forward progress stopped?
For the review, the runner fumbled the ball prior to going down. Was recovered by Syracuse at the 35-yard line. First down, Syracuse.
I don't know if I agree with that call at all.
And that is going to be overturned on review. Hammond can't believe it. Narduzzi, not the first time we've seen him full-on perplexed.
Yeah, and it was, like the whistle blew. You heard that, and he obviously wasn't down. So, if the whistle blew and he wasn't down, then you would, I just assumed up here that it was because the forward progress was stopped. And I think Hammond did too, because might have relaxed a little bit. But, either way, very interesting sequence of events.
The whistle clearly blew before he was down by contact. Either way, it's Syracuse ball, and they're going to continue to go to work on this clock. Officials working on the clock, making sure that clock is right. So timeout on the field. Take a look at what Syracuse has coming up. If they can hang on here, it'll be their first win in conference play. And more importantly, Mark, as far as bowl season goes, it'll even up their record at 5-5 and a couple of games coming up that they look at. And you got to say, definitely winnable games. You got to go to Atlanta to take on Georgia Tech. They'll be smarting from their loss today against Clemson, and then a Wake Forest team to end the game the Saturday after Thanksgiving, to end the season rather.
Yep, and those are two games that you can win, and they're not going to surprise anyone now if you come out with Villari at quarterback or LeQuint Allen at quarterback. So teams are going to be prepared, and so I think a lot of that's going to depend on Garrett Schrader's ability to throw the football, because that's going to be something that has to be done, right? There's no more.
Right.
It's going to be no more deep safety playing against you going forward.
I didn't see the numbers today against Clemson, but Georgia Tech came into that game right near the bottom in FBS in terms of defending the run.
Yes.
It has not been a strong suit for Brett Key and company. Schrader going to keep it. Flag comes down in the secondary. Schrader's brought down by Donovan McMillan right at the midfield mark. Let's check the laundry. Yeah, Clemson had 260 on the ground against Tech today.
That's a lot.
Holding, offense, number 87. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Second down. The clock will start on the snap.
It's child's play compared to the yards Syracuse has chewed up on the ground here today. 346 yards.
That is wild. You mentioned last time Garrett Schrader was on this field for the Pinstripe Bowl this past year and hit over 300 yards passing in that game. Complete opposite today. It's been all on the ground.
He's throwing for 9 yards today. Villari adding to his monumental total.
How about the faith, right, that Dino Babers and Jason Beck have in Dan Villari? 2 times he put the ball on the ground in the first half, right? And you start to think, okay, well, is this going to be worth it? And they trusted to go back to him. And now, in the 4-minute drill, they're just going to have him carry the ball up the middle. Try to run this clock out and pick up yards and first downs.
This has been a 3-headed monster on the ground for Syracuse. LeQuint Allen, you thought you might get 100 yards rushing from him, and you did. And he's been a workhorse, too. The carries, 29 carries, Mark. But then Schrader, you weren't sure about because of the shoulder injury. And Villari, nobody thought he'd go for big yardage.
No, and just it's really good job of mixing it up. And sending the run threats in motion, right? Okay, let's fake handoff to a run threat. Let's run it up the middle. Now let's actually hand it off on the run threat motion and fake up the middle, right? It's just been constantly trying to mess with the Pittsburgh defense's eyes, and there have consistently been big lanes to run the football, especially in the middle for Villari.
.356 and counting. Villari will take a much-needed break.
Yeah, and how about Syracuse has 68 total plays in this game, 60 runs, and 8 passes.
Schrader's going to keep it. Dives forward for a couple more. That clock continues to tick. For Pitt, we mentioned they've got Boston College coming up on a Thursday night game at home. And then they finish up the year at Duke on November 25th.
Yeah, and both Boston College and Pitt are going to have to figure something out on a short week. Boston College got shellacked by Virginia Tech earlier.
Right. Back to the drawing board. For Narduzzi, it's been a season to forget. Price. He does his part. Picks up another first down. West and the crew standing by for this 8 o'clock kick on ACC Network. Huddle crew is there too. We'll send it to Kelsey and the fellas. For a big-time recap, they'll get you up to date on the Florida State-Miami game, which I understand is still very close in the late going. Schrader under center. Price. It's 6 yards, tough yards on first down.
This offensive line for Syracuse, man. You know, if you told an offensive lineman, hey, we're going to have you go out and run block 63 times today, they'd be like, yes, give me some more of that. No chance to get beat on sacks. You just get to run people over.
Just get down and dirty, right?
Go, just go.
Hand in the dirt, face in the dirt.
And that's when you, right, as an offensive lineman, you start to feel the defensive lineman break, right? Like, all right, we've got your will here, and we're going to snatch it away.
Pitt puts everybody in the box to stop Price that time, and they do a good job of it. We'll get a timeout on the field. This may or may not be Pitt's final timeout. Just waiting on confirmation on that one. Narduzzi's had a lot of success at Pitt. You think about the last couple of years, they won 20 games over the last 2 years, and they won the ACC title 2 years ago.
Yeah, they did. And, you know, you've had a lot of guys get drafted over those 2 years, and, you know, didn't really think it was going to be a rebuilding year per se for them, but it's definitely been that way. They struggled at times through the season, but you know, this was a disappointment because I think they felt like they could match up well with Syracuse, especially a limited Syracuse offense. And Syracuse offensively, you know, just they really have struggled in a lot of fourth quarters. Today, it's not been the case, right? It's not like they're lighting up the scoreboard in the fourth quarter, but they have wound the clock and they have established dominance, especially up front against this Pitt defense. Now we have to snap the ball one final time here on fourth down.
You would think Schrader could just take the snap, take a couple of steps, take a knee, and wind out those last 2 seconds. They'll probably call a timeout here.
I think it's safe to say Dan Villari is probably player of the game.
That's a very safe assumption. Yeah, he'll sleep well tonight after an ice bath beforehand, too.
Right.
Keep the swelling down because he's taken some hits and he's delivered some hits.
He definitely has.
Victory formation for the Orange. One final snap. And they'll improve to 5-5 on the year and pick up their first ACC win. Schrader takes a knee. And that'll do it from Yankee Stadium.